suspect you have questions.
Theory: Solas will use rare Lyrium to fight against the Blight. As we've seen, rare Lyrium contains many properties unique unto itself. It corrupts the minds of those that encounter it. It can infuse weapons with great power, and most importantly, it contains the Blight. In recent events across Thedas, rare Lyrium has become a major catalyst. From its discovery in the Deep Roads by the Champion of Kirkwall, and Knight Commander Meredith using a weapon crafted from it, to the rare Lyrium infused Templars, and most recently, the rare Lyrium Wraith encountered by Fenris and Sir Aaron's group while infiltrating Tevinter. Sir Aaron leads a group along with Marius and Tessa, agents of the Inquisition, with the mission to retrieve the rare Lyrium idol along with information on other elven artifacts that the remaining Minotauri intend to use. The idol again was used to create a rare Lyrium weapon to be a catalyst for a sarcophagus previously used to grant Fenris his unique abilities. With all of these events circulating around rare Lyrium, how does this factor into Solas' plans? Solas shows no love for the Blight, as no one in Thedas does, but he does seem to possess more knowledge about it than he's willing to share. In one of my previous theories, I suggested that the Forgotten Ones created the Blight, and that Andrew herself once carried armor and weapons made of blighted Lyrium. And what we know of rare Lyrium now, this further validates those ideas. However, it raises a bigger question. Since we are aware of how dangerous rare Lyrium is and how even the Evanurans were fearful of it, it seems odd Solas would want the rare Lyrium idol. Yet with recent revelations for the future showing he is very much seeking the rare Lyrium idol, if he hasn't already acquired it, from the first initial teaser trailer of the A4. Then from the second trailer where Solas can be seen looking over a mural of what looks to be the Evanurans, it does seem his plan is to release his fellow gods. So how does rare Lyrium play into this? Well, first, let's look at this. In the Fade, especially areas closer to the Black City, we start seeing more and more rare Lyrium. Now this can easily be a suggestion that any Lyrium close to the city was corrupted from the city itself. However, I believe this fits into what Solas said the last time the Inquisitor spoke to him.
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurans would have destroyed the entire world.
You said that the elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanuris.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
Then there's his initial thoughts on when the Grey Warrens were trying to permanently end the Blight by killing the remaining archdemons.
We must stop the Wardens from carrying out this insane plan, Inquisitor. To seek out these old gods deliberately in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
I wouldn't mind never having another Blight. Corypheus interfering is the real problem.
The Blight is the real problem.
And the Wardens are trying to end the Blight forever.
Yes. Would it have worked? Do you know? Did they? The fools who first unleashed the Blight upon this world thought they were unlocking ultimate power. Forgive me. The entire idea is...
While I do still believe that the Forgotten Ones may have crafted the Blight, I now also believe that either the Forgotten Ones or the Evanurans, or perhaps both, in their war with each other, were about to unleash the Blight in such a massive way that it would have destroyed the world. And this, along with the fact that Mythal was killed trying to stop them, is why Solas created the Veil and trapped the gods in the Golden City. Alathan, the city of the Elvenuras before humans came to Thedas, is more than likely the Golden City. And while the Chantry said the city was tainted when the Magisters entered it, we hear from Corypheus that the city was already tainted when they got there. So I believe that either in this war between the Elven gods or in some other catastrophe, the Blight was going to be used and it began to corrupt Alathan. This will also explain why the debris of Elven ruins are found throughout the Fade. They were caught in what may have been a result of this blighted weapon or war. Solas directed the Veil to separate the worlds and stopping the corruption of the Blight from spreading. In doing so, he sealed the Elven gods within the corrupted city they made. So how does this lead back to rare Lyrium? I believe while rare Lyrium can cause many atrocities, it may serve another purpose. I believe that it can absorb and contain the Blight. The reason the rare Lyrium has not been encountered by anyone before the events of Kirkwall or the Inquisition, is because in the Fade it was far too deep than anyone had previously ventured. But it may also be that the red lyrium surrounding the Black City was in a sense absorbing the corruption and containing it. We've seen that red lyrium can indeed infuse things with its power, but only when manipulated. So I believe Solas intends to use red lyrium and subsequently the red lyrium idol to craft tools to neutralize the Blight, either before or after he tears down the veil. In the Codex about Andrul, it is said that Mythal transformed into a serpent and sapped her energy so she can no longer fight. But consider what if Mythal drained the power of the armor and weapon Andrul was using, made of red lyrium, and encased it into something, perhaps an idol that resembles an elf and even a serpent. Mythal knew of a way to contain red lyrium, so perhaps Solas needed Mythal's power, knowledge, and a red lyrium idol to conquer the Blight that would be released when he tore down the veil. I think this has a lot of merit, even if I'm not exactly right on the details, knowing that the red lyrium is playing a large part in the story going forward, as not only does it seem that Solas is looking for the red lyrium idol, but the Ventor has been experimenting with the red lyrium and holds the very idol Solas is looking for, as Tractus Denarius was last seen with it to barter favor with the Ventori. Which fits very nicely as the Ventor is the setting of our next journey in Thedas. Safe to say we may find ourselves in the middle of a war for the idol between Solas and the Ventor, and perhaps working as part of the Inquisition or with their help in some means. As they are also researching red lyrium, with thanks to the red lyrium sword taken from the red lyrium wraith that Fenrir killed. So the red lyrium idol may very well be a means to an end, but things never go as planned. Solas may very well unleash something far worse onto the world in his attempts to bring back the one he once knew. Well, with all that being said, this is just a theory. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and share this video. And if you're interested in joining the Wolfpack, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, Fenrir and Unsol. Later, Wolfpack.